Hello children, myself Ishwar Chand Balichwal welcomes all of you. Today we are continuing our chapter first, number system. Now we learn irrational numbers. Okay, a real number S is called irrational if it cannot be written in the form P by Q, where P and Q are integers and Q not equal to 0. Okay, that is cannot written as a simple fraction. If we cannot represent our number in P by Q form, that is simple fraction, then we say that that number is irrational number. Okay, the symbol of irrational number is Q prime and is read as Q prime. We can say Q dash, we can say Q prime. Okay, this is the symbol of irrational number. We take some examples of irrational number. Root 2, root 3, root 5, pi, 0.10, 100, 100, 100, 140 and so on. Here you can see the digits are changed. They are non-terminating, but digits are not repeating. Here 10, 100, 100, 1 4 times 0. It means that digits are changed. Although they are non-terminating, but they are changed. Okay, and here square root of the numbers, but only those numbers which are prime, square root of prime numbers. Okay, or pi and like that. These are the irrational numbers. Okay, like that. 1 2 double 1 2 triple 1 2 4 times 1 2. Here we can see the number is non-terminating but not repeating. The digits are changed. That's why they are not repeating. Again we take one more example. 0.300, 300, 340, 3 etc. This number is also non-terminating but digits are not repeating in the same form. Okay, so always remember they cannot be represented as P by Q form. Okay, these all forms are not as P by Q form. We cannot able to convert this decimal into the fraction form. Okay, because they are changing. That's why by any procedure we cannot change in fraction. That's why they are irrational number. Okay, so we can say irrational number means equals real number minus rational number. Okay, if the total numbers are real number and when we subtract rational number, then rest of the numbers are irrational number. Okay, so we can say irrational number Q dash or Q prime, real number denoted by R, rational number denoted by Q. So irrational number, that is Q dash equals R minus Q. This is the notation of irrational number. Hence decimal expansion that neither terminating nor become periodic, that is repeating. Here we can say they are not terminating. Okay, so they are neither terminating nor become periodic, means repeating. The digits are not repeating in the same manner. Okay, it goes on forever without repeating. They have endless string, that is forever without repeating, that is recurring. Okay, so these numbers are not recurring, non-terminating, non-recurring number. Recurring means repeating, so they are non-repeating. Okay. If R is rational and S is irrational, then R plus S, R minus S, R into S and R divided by S are irrational numbers where S not equal to 0, because if S becomes 0 then this become not defined form. Okay, so this thing always remember, if R is rational and S is irrational, that is if one rational and other is irrational and we have to perform addition of rational and irrational, subtraction of rational irrational, multiplication of rational irrational and division of rational and irrational, are all results are irrational numbers. Okay, if n is a natural number other than a perfect square, then root n is an irrational number. If the number is perfect square, then it converted into the natural or whole number. But when the number is not in the perfect square form, then root n is an irrational number, as we see in the examples like this: 2, 3, root 5, root 7 and like that. Every rational number is a real number. Okay? Why? Because the main number in the number system are real number, and when we remove rational number from them, then the numbers left are irrational number. So every irrational number is a real number. Okay? So can be represented on the number line. As we know, real numbers can be represented on number line, so irrational number also represent on the number line. Okay. The sum, difference, product and quotient of two irrational numbers need not be an irrational number. Okay. Sometime the sum, difference, product and quotient of two irrational number may be irrational or rational. So here we say need not be an irrational. They depend. Okay. Now we take more information about rational number. A real number is either rational or irrational. We can say that every real number is represented by a unique point. Okay, every real number is represented by a unique point on the number line. Also, every point on the number line represent a unique real number. Okay, so now we are representing irrational number on the number line. Okay, here we take a square OABC. Okay, this is a square OABC. By Pythagoras theorem, we know if there is any triangle which having right angle, so in a square every angle is right angle, so here is a right angle. So if we take OAB, this triangle is a right triangle. So in this we can apply Pythagoras theorem. Here this is 1 unit, this is also 1 unit. Okay, so 1 square and 1 square, that is square of this base and square of this perpendicular, both are 1, so 1 square plus 1 square, which is just equal to OB square. OB square means this is the hypotenuse of this triangle. What is the value? Now OB square is just equal to 2, so OB equal to root 2. So this hypotenuse become root 2. Now we have to represent it on number line. Here is our number line. So watch carefully how we plot, how can we represent this. Here this is our 0 on number line. This side left side, this side right side, this side negative and this side positive. Now first we take 1 unit. This is 0, so 1 unit here, and we say this edge A and 0 edge O. Okay, so OA is 1 unit, edge we see here, OA is 1 unit. So now this OA is 1 unit also. Now we take AB. How much? 1 unit also. But this is perpendicular to this. This 1 unit makes perpendicular. That is 90-degree angle to this OA. So we take a perpendicular line having 1 unit length. Okay. Now check. This become a right triangle. So this is base, this is perpendicular. So according to this become root 2. Now we take this O, that is 0 of number line. We take this edge center and take this OB as radius and draw. So this arc meeting here. So this is our root 2, and we have to perform the representation of root 2 on number line, and root 2 is irrational. So this way we can represent a irrational number on number line. Again I repeat this. First we consider a square OABC. Each side of this square is 1 unit. So this diagonal of this square become root 2. Okay, which is the hypotenuse of this triangle. Okay, here we can see clearly that if the one side is 1 unit and the other side is also 1 unit, then the hypotenuse become root 2 by this Pythagoras theorem. Okay, now here is our number line, and we take the 0 of number line as O, and A is taking as 1 unit. Now we take 1 unit AB, as 1 unit, which is perpendicular to this. Okay, so this triangle become right triangle. So 1 square plus 1 square equal to OB square. So when we take square root, that is OB, we receive root 2. So this is root 2. Now if we take O as center and take a arc of how much? OB. OB is an arc having the length root 2, and O as center, draw the arc. So this arc meeting here. So this point P is our representation of root 2 on number line, and root 2 is a irrational number. So we can represent irrational number by this way. Okay, now we learn more. Using compass with center O and radius OB equal to root 2. This radius OB equal to root 2. Draw an arc. We draw an arc meeting at the point P, this point P. Then P corresponding to root 2. This P corresponding to root 2. Okay, this way on number line we can represent root 2, root 3, root 5 and so on. Now we take one more example. Here is our number line. As we plot root 2 here, so we already take the root 2 here. This is our root 2, and this can be represented as this P. Now in this root 2 we plot 1 unit perpendicular to this root 2. Here this is the sign of 90-degree angle. So this is root 2, and the perpendicular of that is 90-degree angle. We take 1 unit. Okay, so this become base, this become perpendicular. So square of this plus square of this, then taking root, so we get OD. How? Like this. OD is the hypotenuse of this triangle OBD. Okay. So how can we found this OD? We found by squaring the base, that is root 2 is a base and 1 is our perpendicular. So squaring of base, that is root 2 square. Square of perpendicular, that is 1 square. Root 2 square become 2 and 1 square become 1. So 2 plus 1, 3. So OD is root 3. Okay. So here we found root 3. Now what we have to do? Consider O as center and take a radius OD that is equal to root 3 and draw an arc which is meeting at Q. Here OD radius, O as center, and we draw an arc which is meeting here Q. So this Q is root 3. Now this way we can represent this root 3, which is an irrational number. So we can represent it on number line. This is left, this is right, negative, this is positive, and we plot it on positive side. If we have minus of root 3, remember the negative sign is out of root 3, then we represent it this side. So this way we can represent irrational number on number line. Okay. How we draw this? Again check. Using compass with center O and radius OD, which is root 3, draw an arc. Okay. This arc meeting here at Q. So OD is root 3. That's why this point is root 3. Okay. So we draw an arc DQ. So Q represent root 3. Okay. So now this way we can represent our rational number. Now we learn more. Another method of representing root 3 on number line. Now carefully watch. This is the other method, other technique. This is our number line. We already know that OA is OAB is a right triangle, and with the help of this, taking OA as 1 unit, AB as 1 unit, and OB is root 2, we previously draw P. We represent the P root 2 already. Now we want to represent root 3. So what we have to do? Where the point root 2 is locating, we just reach as there. This is our point root 2, which is already plotted. Or if we want to plot, then use this method. Then this P is root 2. Now draw 1 unit line perpendicular to this. This is perpendicular to OP. This PD is perpendicular to OP. This is root 2 and this is 1 unit, and this is the diagonal hypotenuse of OPD. So how we found this hypotenuse? This OP is base, which is root 2. So root 2 square, and this PD is 1. So 1 square. We found root 3 as OD. Now take O as center and OD as radius and draw an arc which is meeting at Q. This is our root 3. So by this way, no need to draw this 1 unit here. We can draw this 1 unit here at point P, which is root 2. So this way we can also represent irrational number on this number line. Okay. So now this is clear. This way we can locate root n, where n is a natural number on number line after root n minus 1. First we represent root n minus 1. That is, if we want to draw root 3, that is root n equal to 3. So first we draw root n minus 1. Here n equal to 3, 3 minus 1, 2. So root 2. So first we represent root 2. Then put one more here as perpendicular. So this diagonal is root n, that is root 3. So this way root n also represent on number line. Real numbers and their decimal expansion. Okay, we take 3 examples: 8 by 3, 7 by 8 and 1 by 7. These are the real numbers and they are fraction. As we know, any number can be expressed as p by q form. These are the p by q form. So these are rational number, and rational numbers are always real number. So these numbers are real numbers, and we want to express these fractions into decimal expansions. Okay, so we start here. 8 by 3, this is our 8 and this is by 3. So we divide 8 by 3. Now start. First, this is 3, 3 2 is 6, so 2 times it divides. Now 2 as remainder, put 0 and put decimal here. Now again 6 3 is 18, put 6 here. Again subtracting, we get 2. Again 20. Now 6 3 is 18, so again we get 6. Again the remainder is 2. Now this is become 20. 6 3 is 18, so again 6. So this is a non-terminating decimal expansion. 8 by 3 is non-terminating decimal expansion, but this is non-terminating but can be represented as 8 by 3. So this non-terminating decimal is a rational number. Okay, now we take 7 by 8. This is 7 and this is 8. We divide 7 by 8. We can put a 0 here because 8 cannot be divided 7. So we put 0 here and decimal here. After putting decimal here, we can put 0 here. So this becomes 70. 8 8 is 64. So this divide 8 times. Okay. Now, what is the remainder? Here remainder is 6. Okay. So it becomes 60. 8 7 is 56. So this time, this divide 7 times. Now, what is remainder? 4. So it becomes 40. 8 5 is 40. So this is 875. Now 40 minus 40 is 0. So remainder is 0. So the division is over and we get 0.875. Okay. And this is what? Not endless. This is terminating. 0.875 is a terminating decimal. Okay. So 7 by 8, which is a rational number, and this is the decimal form of this. Okay. Now we take 1 by 7. When we divide 1 by 7, what happened? First we put decimal here. So this become 10. Now 1 time this divide. So 10 and here 7. 10 minus 7 is 3. Okay. This become 30. 7 4 is 28. So this, here 4 and we get 2 as remainder. Now this become 20. 7 2 is 14. So we put here 2. Now remainder is 6. This becomes 60. So 8 7 is 56. 7 8 is 56. So here we put 8. Now the remainder is 4. It become 40. So 7 5 is 35. We put 5 here. Now the remainder is 5. That become 50. So 7 7 is 49. So here 7. Now again remainder is 1. So this is this form. So now the string is repeated. So this is the endless string means this is a non-terminating decimal number. But look, here the remainder is 1, which is here 1. So now after this string is repeated. So this is non-terminating repeating decimal. Okay, so non-terminating repeating decimal. So this is rational number, and here we check this can be written as 1/7. Okay, so this way we can change our real number in decimal expansion. Here remainder is 2. Every time the remainder is 2, so divisor is 3, so we get 2.66. Here remainder is 640, 6, 4 and 0. Zeros telling us that this is terminating, but here remainder is always 2, 2, 2, so this is not terminating. Okay, here we can see the remainders are 3, 2, 6, 4, 5, 1. 3, 2, 6, 4, 5, 1. And again after 1, 3, 2, 6, 4, 5, 1. So this is a repeating but not terminating. Okay, so this way we found the decimal expansion. Okay, conclusion. What is the conclusion? Check. The remainder either becomes 0 after a certain stage or start repeating themselves. Okay, here we can find that the remainder either becomes 0 or after a certain stage repeating themselves. Here it is repeating, here this string is repeating here 3, 2, 6, 4, 5, 3, 2, 6, 4, 5. So this is our first conclusion. Now the number of entries in the repeating string. This is the repeating string. The number of entries, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. These are the six numbers. 6 numbers, and again 3, 2, 6, 4, 5, 1. These are also 6. The repeating string contains 6 digits. In the repeating string of remainder is less than the divisor. But remember, this 3, 2, 6, 4, 5, 1 are all are less than this divisor. This divisor 7, and the numbers are total less than 7. They are only 6. Okay, this is our conclusion. Remainder is less than the divisor. Now if the remainder repeat, as here the remainder repeats, then we get a repeating block of digits. Okay, repeating block of digits like this. Here there is a repeating block of digits in the quotient. Okay, these are 3 conclusion, 3 different type of division. If the remainder becomes 0, so decimal expansion is terminating. As here the remainder becomes 0, the decimal expansion is terminating. So this 0 indicate that this decimal expansion is terminating. Okay, so if we divide any number by the other number and we get the remainder 0, it means the decimal expansion is terminating. This is our conclusion. Okay, if the remainder becomes 0, so decimal expansion is terminating. Okay, please always watch videos up to the end, then you understand better. And if you want that you get timely these videos, so subscribe them. Okay, once you subscribe, you get videos on timely. Okay, have a nice day. Thanks.